All right. Hello. Welcome back to episode 3 of the YMAO Podcast. I, I don't even know where to start. I feel like every time that I start something, I do really good to start off, and then I get nervous or get anxiety that people I know are going to see it, and for the most part they do, and I push away the fear of it. But I can't help but think that it gets to me sometimes. So I'm trying to stay strong, trying to find a consistent schedule, and just yap for 30 minutes or more. So yeah, I'm still. How am I doing? I'm doing good. The uh I had a whole work schedule and planned my schedule around playing a lot of volleyball, and I haven't been, you know, my knee is doing better, but I'm still on a break, and I'm hoping to get back into it because my schedule has just kind of been all over the place. I feel like I've had so much free time that I really don't know what to do with it. Maybe that's the reason why I even started this podcast. But yeah, I don't know what the frequency will be like. And I don't know. I'm thinking like I should really try to get these podcast episodes mostly because they're not podcasts. It's not a podcast where I have to plan out too much. I just kind of like talk. So maybe I should just try to do it regularly or as much as I can, and just kind of go for frequency, and it'll just be a good way for me to think about some current thoughts that I'm just trying to work through. Um, Top of mind for me, with all this free time, has been getting back into the groove of things, starting more content, filming more content, and working on my productivity app. More recently, I am starting, or I think I'm starting on a new team soon at my job. And starting on a new team, or going to a new job in general, in general for me, I think it just feels a little bit, it's like more anxiety. It's a little scary. Uh, I might be switching managers, and my new manager I've talked to, and he seems nice, but I don't really know how it's all gonna go, and I'm just kind of hoping for the best. There's a general, there's like general phrases that change can be scary. There's more phrases like the unknown is kind of where your answer is, because if you're trying to find an answer to a question and you haven't found the answer yet, then obviously it's not in the things that you know. Um, it's not in your current environment, and you kind of have to seek out the answer for those things. So I feel like that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm very happy with my career. I'm very happy with my job. I'm happy with how I spend my time. But I don't know. I feel like I'm constantly trying to seek for more. And the answer, even though I feel like I'm doing everything that I wish I could have done, like 10 years ago, if I had a list of things that I wish I could have done, I feel like I've done all of it. And it feels like even though I'm kind of like an extra credit land, I want to strive for more, and I don't really know why. Um, I want to believe that I'm trying to strive for more because I want to have more things that I want, and I don't know what I want, but I know that I probably need money for it. Like I'm not a big fan of traveling, but I'm sure that one day I'll want to go on a trip, and when that opportunity comes, I want to have the freedom to be able to do it. I want to make sure that I have the time to be able to do it. And I think, honestly, I feel like that's why I'm still trying to be more successful, even though by standard nomenclature, I'm already successful to a lot of different people or to my family or to my friends. I think that the reason why I'm working so hard in my mid late 20s, however you want to call it, I'm 27. I'm not too old. Contrary to like I feel like a lot of the younger people's um, perspectives. Like I don't think 27's too old. I still think I'm pretty young and I got my life ahead of me. But I think I think the reason why I work so hard is because um, I want to have the time and flexibility to do whatever I want. And I feel like right now I don't necessarily have that. I still have like when we're talking about like obligations, I have to go into work, and even though I love my work, it's not really. It's always my choice, but you know what I mean. Like I have to go because I have financial responsibility, so I have to go to work, and it would be nice, I think, to get to a point where I don't have to do anything unless I really want to. So I feel like that's part of why. Um, and I guess I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts mostly because I don't know. I guess for me, I feel like personally I can't go into a new I can't like pivot or move to a new part of my life without having direction towards it or feeling confident in the direction that I'm going in. And originally, like a lot of my career growth was to help my family, and now it's not really the case. And I guess I'm just trying to figure out why I'm doing all this stuff. Um, I tried to give a little bit of material value, like, oh, like I want to work hard so I could have more money and eventually I could have all the materialistic things that I want. Like I could have a new car, I could have a new house, I could have a really cool whatever, like private jet or something. But to be honest, I'm sure all that stuff would be really cool experiences. But just kind of like my taste of like I I had the craving of doing something where I would, like everyone wants to spend their money a certain way, and then like people are like, okay, I want to like save up enough money to buy a Rolex, I want to save enough money to buy a car. And for me, it was like to save up enough money or to use my money in order to help my family. And regardless of what you end up where you end up wanting to spend your money, um, my perspective, because I've been there, is that once you spend that money in that way, you kind of get stuck with like a what's next kind of mentality. And um, it just goes to show that like really aiming for materialistic things doesn't really last long. It doesn't have a good longevity when it comes to goal planning or long-term goals. It just it gets you to a certain point, and I guess like to that degree, if you're really a materialistic person, you can just, after you, for example, like let's say I want to buy a Rolex, I buy a Rolex, and after that I could get a more expensive Rolex because let's say I'm a watch guy and that's what makes me happy. Some people are like that, and that's cool. um but I feel like the whole money towards materialistic thing for me was more of like an intrinsic thing. Had to do with like Asian culture and giving back to my family kind of thing. And and I feel like I have to find another intrinsic reason to push for. A lot of my friends and I guess my family too, everyone around me has been saying that a good intrinsic long-term goal is to just find what makes you happy, have a happy life. And that's kind of what we talked about in the last episode a little bit. But I think I think what I learned from just like kind of talking in the last session and also just thinking on my off time is that the happiness is happiness kind of goes along with a lot of the questions in life that you can't answer, like what's my purpose in life, or How much money do I need, or all this stuff. Like all of these abstract questions sometimes are better left unsaid, but not really because you'll never find an answer. It's just that they're the type of questions that will eventually, like, life will eventually answer those questions for you, I think. Um, we don't really know what makes us happy, but one day, if we keep pushing for it or we try to be positive towards it, eventually, like, it may not come in the right way or exactly how we expect it, but happiness might come in a certain way. And same thing with like money. Um, might feel like a hot take a little bit, but um, money, like there's always opportunities. Opportunities feel like they're scarce, but it's really because we don't know where the opportunities are. When I was in college and high school, I grew up with parents who immigrated from the Philippines, and I didn't know much about the American education system, and I didn't even know who to talk to because my parents usually, like, schools sometimes do a good job or teachers do a good job of helping out, but they don't always help out every student just because there's so many students in a class, and they're always teachers, like, if you didn't know, teachers have very long work hours, and it's a lot of multitasking, and it's a lot of handling different situations, and that's not even talking about like the pay scale that they have. So it's very hard for a teacher to be able to hone, like, dial in into one student's issues or realize, like, oh, this student doesn't understand something, and set them up for success. They do their best, and they in some degree they do set up their students for success, but um in my case, I didn't, even though I had great teachers, they didn't really know what was going on in my life, and they didn't know how much I knew or needed to know. So it's all to say that I never got any help from my teachers when it came to understanding the school systems, and my parents didn't know anything about the school system, which all collectively led to me not knowing um, about high school programs that would set me up for college or even set me up for like internships in the future, which is the thing. Or even knowing that there are scholarships, like, or where you can find the resources for scholarships, and how important those scholarships are, in both high school and college, and then going into college, like where to find jobs or how to network and all this stuff that you don't get to really know. Um, where was I going with this? I don't know where I was going with this, but pretty much I just didn't know what to do, and and in a lot of different aspects, I had to learn it myself, or I had to at one point just realize that things are like a Google search away, and I had to just find the answers myself. Um, for the answers that I didn't know, that I couldn't just Google, right? Like I tried to search up like how to find happiness at least like 50 times. Um, yeah, it's just like, oh, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about money and opportunities. But yeah, like in the same way, like happiness, money, opportunities, like all of these things are really around us. We just don't know they're around us. And if you keep on going in a positive direction, eventually those things will come to you, is what I'm trying to say. It's not like a law of attraction kind of thing, but it's more like if you keep on trying to look for jobs, then eventually you'll find a different job. Um, the pay increase, I don't know. Hopefully so, but it's a little bit more than just looking, right? Because a lot of people look and they're like, oh, I don't, like, I'm looking, but no matter how much I look, there isn't any opportunities. I think the thing that's missing in all of this, is is that we can't just look for the things that we want, and that we have to put a we have to put actions towards whatever we want all the time. When I didn't have a good so I finished college at the time, so I went through 4 years of a college experience in computer engineering, and I didn't really learn the things that I needed to become a software engineer or even to be a computer engineer, to be honest. My school was not very good when it came to education. And after the 4 years, I ended up spending 2 years just learning from other teachers from around the world and learning from developers that were in like different online communities. And I did that for 2 years, and I didn't expect that it would lead up to getting the job that I have now, which, which is absolutely mind blowing. But I think even if I didn't get this job, I would have got some different type of job because I was just going in that direction anyways. At the time, like I was interviewing to a bunch of different places, and I got to a lot of like last round interviews and got a few offers as well. So I had a few places to go, and these opportunities didn't really happen because anyone really told me about them. The opportunities came because I just kind of worked not knowing if it was going to work, and I just hoped that eventually like everything was going to work out. Um, and it's so surprising, like how like dumbed down it can be or how simple it can be. Like sometimes it is just as simple as like, hey, if you want to get the job, you just have to work towards the job. And there's a bunch of excuses that we could always make, just about like the job market and how hard it is and how nobody's hiring and all this stuff. But the more specific way to, like in particular to jobs, just like as the example, the more specific way to say it is, or like if you hear someone say, oh, I can't get a job because of the job market, what it really translates to is, I can't find a job because my skills don't align with the job market. It could mean a lot of different things. You don't have enough years of experience. You don't have certain skill sets. And then some people will say, oh, well, like if I need a certain X amount of years of experience, then I need to get a job to get those years of experience. And so, it's a vicious cycle. It's like, no, like, yes, there, like, yes, it, like, there is a concern that if you don't have a certain amount of years of experience, then you don't qualify for a job. But I think the caveat here is that the only way to get years of experience isn't to get a job through a corporate company. Um, and I think that's kind of like what people are forgetting. You can get a lot of certificates, you can get a lot of knowledge and a lot of education. You can probably get a lot of experience from doing a lot of like client work or doing your own thing or trying to, or even talking to a friend about whatever you want to do or trying to network with people and being like, hey, I'll do this for free if you really wanted to. And on your off time when you're not on your 40 hours a week, you can pursue whatever passion you want to do. And in that way, like you can get your years of experience, and it doesn't have to be a situation where you have to wait for a corporate company to pick you up, and so that you can get those years of experience, so that you can apply to other jobs. Um, yeah, life isn't so. I think life isn't so binary, where things only work in one way, and I feel like that's why social standards are kind of just like a little bit of a mess. It's like everyone who starts growing up believes, like off the bat, that you have to go through middle school, then high school, and then college, and then after college you get a corporate job. Um, Still a way to go, and it's the way that I went. Um, I think I think there's just many ways to do things. Like while you're in school, school never takes up all your time. And based on your situation, whether you have to take care of your family and you don't have time after school, or if you have the privilege of having more time for yourself so that you can pursue things while you're in school, there's always time to figure things out. Um, my life was really hectic, and I didn't have um, I felt like I didn't have a lot of time to do things after school, but the truth was, like, I probably did. Um, I could have probably found ways to be more productive, and everyone runs on the same 24 hours, and so, someone out there in the world is doing it, and maybe with equally or worse, like a worse situation than you have in life, and so um, I don't want to say it's not an excuse, but it's just kind of like what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to give a more open perspective to how how much more possible it is for you to get a life that you want, or to reach the goal that you want to reach, and that it's not too far off from whatever you're thinking. um yeah, I think I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. um cool. I mean, I think that's like, I don't even know where I was going. I wrote some things down in case I didn't know what to go into. mm, let's see if there's anything that I want to talk about. I mean, this is a good one because it kind of goes off of what I was just talking about everyone having the same amount of time. Um, I was kind of like writing notes down in my journal, and I talked about how, like, how I feel like I don't have enough time for things. Um, you know, I feel pretty split sometimes with how I spend my time, and I've been a lot more sensitive recently to how I spend it, because I have so many projects and so many things. Even if I didn't have projects, my job itself takes up a lot of time. And I keep trying to remind myself everyone's on the same 24 hours, but I constantly feel like there's this feeling that because I say that everyone's on the same amount of time, that and I feel like I don't have enough time, it just means that I'm not using my time well, or I'm not I'm not using my time efficiently. Like, I'm not, like, it could be better. You know what I mean? And sorry, that ringtone just like set me off. Um I feel like I don't know. Like, let me think. I feel like I spend time doing volleyball and traveling to work and working, obviously, and then I have some extra time on the weekends where I get to decide on if I'm doing YouTube or my app, or filming. And I think it might be good to, like, if I really want to progress these things forward, I think I need to start having a schedule for things. So, and like, I've never been a fan of schedules um because I do so many things, or sometimes I forget about somebody's birthday. My schedule could be thrown off at a moment's notice, and then I won't be able to make the priorities that I won't be able to do the tasks that I set out as a priority, because something will deprioritize it. So, if it's someone's birthday and I really should be there, uh, to be a good friend or a good family member, um, I might cancel a podcast episode or something. And it's been hard for me to find, I guess, like, how to schedule things. In the past, I've tried, at least when it comes to content, or even like coding, I would be like, okay, when I find the free time, I'll just hammer down for 6 hours and do 6 hours of whatever the work is, and that'll be what that'll be like my work for the week, for the next 2 weeks. One time I was doing content and I scheduled things a month out, and that kind of worked a little bit, but maybe it just honestly didn't feel like me. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I should try it again. Maybe I should try it again, and um, maybe that way it would be cool. Like I might be able to do live podcasts, and I might be able to do just podcast episodes that are actual videos, and um, maybe there can just be a mix of having things that are pre-recorded and things that are live, and kind of have the same vibe because maybe I won't be recording it, or um, because I'm not editing it, so maybe it'll also be okay too. Okay, so that's content, and then when it comes to my app, I feel like I don't give enough time to it, and I feel like whenever a new project comes out or a new video game comes out, I'll like very quickly delineate towards being like, okay, well, the first thing that goes is my app because there's no timeline, nobody's rushing me to do it, so I'm just like gonna work on it on my own time. But honestly, it's the product that I'm supposed to be pushing out when it comes to this content. Like, eventually, there needs to be some type of output or something that physically, tangibly helps my audience, and that's my product, and it's not done yet. And I don't want to pay the money to people because developers can be pretty expensive. So I think I have to schedule time towards um, doing it more, maybe like once a week or twice a week. But I think that also means that, oh, it means that I have to be strict with my time, and I feel like anytime that I've been strict with my time, it's just never worked out. Like there was always a week that it didn't work out and I had to move things. And there never seems to be a day that like always works. Mm. I think what we'll do. Okay. I think what we'll do is Saturday I will put aside for coding my app, and the rest of the week will go towards creating content. Does that work? Because creating content, like I said, I think what I was missing was I was being too one dimensional, and I was like, okay, I'm only going to do live podcasts, or I'm only going to do pre recorded stuff, but maybe I should just do both, and I can just like jump in between them. And that might be a good way to balance it out. Um, it might be a little bit weird because let's say I have pre recorded content and I schedule it and then I do a live podcast. Like, which one is an episode and which one isn't? Or do I have to like bump all the episode numbers up? You know what I mean? Um, oh, I think what I can do is I can just I can just like leave the number out for pre-recorded videos, and then at the time that it's going to be released, I can give it a number. I think that works. I should really write all of this down. Um, but I guess it's recorded, so I can always look back at this. Okay, so Saturday coding, rest of the week content, and then during the week it's like volleyball and work. So just like stuff to have fun throughout the week. Let it go by really quick, and then because there's no point in. I mean, there's a point to me doing work throughout the week or content through the week, but sometimes it could be a little bit weird. Um, because like I'm doing so much already through the week, just traveling and trying to figure things out. Um, I need a day for filming. And if Saturday is my day for coding, maybe I can make a day out of Saturday. Like I could do like half a day of coding, or half a day of filming like in the morning ish, and then like during the night I can go to like a cafe or something and I can work, and kind of just come back at night. That might be a good way, just so I'm not at my computer I could just focus on coding somewhere else. That would be a good way to get out of the house, just to film. It's kind of hard for me to film during the week because by the time I'm out of work at 5, it's like there's no sunlight, so there's no good shots. And um and even if I wanted to take recordings at night, I usually do like volleyball. So yeah, I think Saturday just might have to be crammed a little bit. Sunday I play volleyball as well, but I have time during the night. And I think during the night I might either edit or code. I think that works. I think that works. All right, let's try that out. We're going to see how it goes. I'm just kind of trying to think like if that's efficient enough. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it sounds solid. It doesn't make any time for it doesn't make any time for friends and family really. I guess I guess there is time though, like Friday nights. Maybe Friday nights I could like just keep open. I think that I should spend time with people in general or do whatever do whatever um extroverted social event like during the week, like Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends I'll tackle my side projects. And then if I have the energy coming back from home to do recorded podcasts or something, I can do that. I probably won't want to do like streams and stuff, but maybe I'll be able to record and just get more videos out there and whatnot. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna write this all down. I think that this was a good session. Hopefully, yeah, I like these type of talks as well. Maybe it's a little bit boring to kind of hear how I think about things, or even maybe like the way that I talk is really slow, but this is honestly how I sound in my brain or in my head when I'm trying to think of these things. And maybe just kind of hearing how I think about things out loud might help you with organizing your time a little bit more. Um, it might even help, especially for people who don't, who are kind of like me, have a lot of things going on, and have a semi chaotic life where things are kind of, you know, dropped pretty quickly, and then you kind of need to move things around. Um, yeah, it can be a little bit hard in general when life is lifing, and you have to just like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I tell myself like it's okay, like you could just drop whatever you were supposed to do, and that's okay. But I really need to be like more strict, just because for the next 6 months or so, me and another content creator friend is going to do a challenge, and we have to come up with 3 hours of content, um, either long form or short form, but in total like 3 hours, and try to make that happen. So yeah, we have to kind of, yeah, I want to kind of figure out the schedule. It starts in August, so it starts in like 3 days or 4 days, and I need to kind of just lock in. So I guess that's why this ended up being what we talked about or what we tried figuring out. But yeah, hopefully it helped you out. I think I'm good for now. I will come back when I have another problem, but thank you for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys at the next podcast episode. Bye.